Hey everybody. More standard games on Fix today. We're going to do 20 minutes as usual. Seek is posted. Rating graph is up. Always on top. And we're ready to start. So taking a look at the rating graph, it doesn't look too promising so far through 8 games. Nice little peak here at 1570, and I'm currently at 1514. Ugly last 4 games. 3 losses, 1 win. So hopefully we change that today. I'm going to do our best. Maybe we'll get a little break and play a lower rated player. I don't know. Just waiting on it right now, so anytime the game could start. In the meantime, looking back at these last couple of games, yesterday's game was pretty good 99% of the time, and we got to the end game and fell apart. Got some things to learn for the end games from that, and I haven't really studied it yet, but I do have some things to look over there. Game before that was sort of a tactical mess where my opponent hung his knight in the opening got it trapped basically, and I was able to convert that win fairly easily after going up a couple more pieces, and it was pretty simple. The game before that was one where I got a really unfortunate checkmate in the opening. It was a nice little smothered mate in the French that really has just given me something to watch out for in the French, and I learned some things that I actually had seen some of the themes of that game before, but I hadn't seen them really work so badly against me. And one of the reasons is I've seen some of those things happen in blitz games, but I've never really played a longer game where somebody could fully take advantage of them. So I didn't do so hot in that game. Game before that was another loss where I played well for about 90% of the game and then hung a back rank mate near the end and lost because of that. And that's my last 4 games. The previous 4 games were 4 straight wins, only one of which I snuck out of there with, this game here. I had a win earlier in the game I missed, and then got pretty lucky to save the game at the end. All right, so, oh, hey, look who it is. It's Peter John. Peter John was the player I played in game number 7 right here, so this is a kind of a rematch. I'm playing the French, and I don't think I have ever seen b3 as a second move in the French. Can't imagine why I don't just play d5, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. Very interesting. Very interesting. All right, let's stop and think about some ideas here. I think I'm going to go ahead and play c5. There's no threats along this diagonal right now. I really don't understand what he's doing. c5 and d4 are very possible here, I think. And that would really cramp that bishop and gain me some space. So I am going to go ahead and play c5. If e5, knight c3, 6. Or what about if e5? Why don't I just play d4 here? Goodness. This is going to be interesting. He's got minor piece control over these squares. If I were to chop the bishop's diagonal off with d4 here, I think that would be good for me. Then knight c6, this e5 square becomes harder for him to control, and it may not be to his advantage to push there. So I am going to go. Oh, here's part of the problem. He's got 2 pieces developed to my 1. So falling behind in development might be not worth the advantages of that move. So that's what I'm weighing here, is whether d4 and then he gets a 3rd piece out and I have 0 out. So what I'm going to do then is play knight c6 instead. And if it's still possible, d4 next move. And it's not. A bit unfortunate there, but I think I had to get some pieces out. Now I've got a better center here, but I'm behind in development. Now Here, bishop c6 makes some sense. Obviously, I can't play bishop e7, or my g7 pawn hangs. So how about bishop e6? And he doesn't have anything like knight g5 or something weird like that, because it's guarded by my queen, and he doesn't have any support from his light square or dark square bishop here. So bishop e3, e6, and I should be pretty solid here. Ooh. So his queen was restricting his light square bishop, which he might want to bring to b6 here, or b5. What about bishop? I'm going to look at the same position here with bishop b5. Since I have moved my light square bishop once, it's sort of a waste of tempo to come back to break that pin. I think I'm going to go ahead and play knight f6 here and not worry about the bishop b5 pin right now. But I want to alleviate some pressure on g7. Alright, this doesn't bother me that I know of. I think here I just play bishop e7, castle, and then I'm not pinned anymore. And if he wants to take, well, see, here's the thing. There's no benefit to the b file here. Or there's not much benefit to a half-open b file, so taking back might not be the best idea. I wonder, or with the b pawn, so I wonder if maybe queen c7 is better here. But then we open up the king side if he takes on f6. Alright, rook c8. How's that look? Rook c8 looks okay. Rook c8, bishop e7, castles is the plan right now. Knight e5 I don't like. So let's... was thinking bishop d6, knight e5, bishop takes, bishop takes. But is that really harmful to my position? I had to keep his bishop or his knight out of there. Or at least I want to. Okay, I think this is fine.
Check.
All right. Now I have a pretty good center here. I have a lot more central control, I think, than he does. And I have two bishops to his one bishop. So I'm going to want to be open. I'm going to go ahead and get castled. And the bishops are pointing this way rather nicely. So things like queen d7, queen c7. Boy, my first thought is to push c4 and lock that pawn there so his bishop is silly. Almost out of the game silly. So let's look at c4. c4, b takes c4, and he's attacking here. So it's a pawn sacrifice, but is it worth the gain? So looking at c4, b takes c4, and leaving that alone for a bit, followed by takes, and then c4. which isn't supported right now by a piece or a pawn. It would be an unsupported c4, but it would clear the way. So I'm not sure that c4 for me right now is worth pursuing. What about c takes d4, bringing his knight or his bishop to a pretty decent square, but then attacking it with c5? And I've got that big center again, and his piece will have to leave. So once again, it would be trading basically this pawn for this pawn with more or less the same position from everything else. Problem is the open diagonal for the bishop there. So let's go with that line, because it maintains my strong center. That's the benefit here. And then c4, c5 will probably be next, unless something else presents itself. And that gives up a bishop here if he takes with the knight. So it's possible I could just, well, but f3 if I play bishop c4 or g4. Right. Bishop g4, f3, and at that point his bishop doesn't have as many squares. So probably here just let's back the bishop up or provoke the exchange, and then I have an open f file. Half open. Or what about, is there any h2 tactics? Probably not yet. Probably not yet. Certainly could be. Let's look at bishop h2, knight g4. No, yep, we can still do that. Knight g4. And queen back to g1. The knight's defended by the bishops, so queen h4 doesn't win the knight, but is there a way? Yes, if he brings his knight back to f3, there's a way to stop queen h2 mate. But it's close. It is close. Let's look again. Bishop h2, king takes, knight g4, yes, and king back to g1, queen h4. I think the only move there is going to be knight f3. And at, boy, it's close. It is close. All right. Bishop d7 with some ideas, I guess. We've got some ideas. If that knight gets one, yeah, look at this. All right, so we still have some ideas here. Bishop takes, doesn't help yet. All right, c5, get out of here. Okay. Wonder if the knight can come to e4 now and hang out around there for a while. Would that be something we'd want to do, we'd be interested in? Difficult to kick it off of there, although knight d2 would be okay. But what's it going to do there? I don't think it really has much activity there. Alright, so let's bring our pieces into play then. Wait a minute, what about d4 here? d4 has some potential to lock out those pieces. The knight can't come in, the bishop is closed out. I'm going to play d4 here. Now my bishop has more scope if it comes to c6. Let's see. Becomes a bit difficult to defend there. I guess I should have thought of that. Alright, so bishop c6, if the pawn takes, bishop takes, queen takes, do I have any real tricks? I don't think I do. I still am looking at bishop e4 though. I don't know why, but bishop e4 seems like a good little spot. What about bishop f4 followed by f5? Sacrificing that pawn. What about bishop b5? Forcing the rook to a better square. Let's see. Yeah, I think I need to bring the bishop to c6 here and probably just lose that pawn simply because of this tactic or this file here. Boy, I'm playing without a plan and I don't like it. So what happens if I push? Queen takes, but how about, yeah, boy, just push to c5, but I think I like that. I'm going to go bishop b5. If you play c5, fine. I just come back to c6. If he moves the rook, then I push. And then it might be easier to defend here on the light square, although I'm not sure how. Because playing c4 runs into b takes c4. I do need to clear that so that that bishop's defended. So it's at least something to do. Alright, that's okay with me. I'm definitely pleased with that. That locks out his bishop and knight from getting in easily along that diagonal. So this is good. Although, yeah, b4, but bishop takes is okay here. Alright, so now knight e4 makes some sense also to reinforce that c5 square. And I'm going to play f5 next, or soon, I should say. Once again, he's playing really fast. On this game, he appears to be playing a much better game than he played in the game we played before, but he needs to slow down. Okay, see, I think this is bad for him. I can just move my bishop. It doesn't help him. And now he's really permanently locked out over there. So this is really good for me. That's my thought anyway. So this seems to be resolved, although not necessarily through great play by me, but probably through some bad decisions for him. He needed to open that up. Opening it up always helps me, though, because of my bishops. So maybe that is a little plus for him. But the shield here from his pieces away from his king means that I might have some real possibilities to attack. He's going to have a lot harder time getting to this position. Okay, now I think he's wasting time with something that's not there. So back to this side, our attention on the king side. In my opinion, that's where we need to be focusing now. F5, I think. I almost think G5 might be better. F5 though, because yeah, F5. Because now if he tries to dislodge the knight, although he could just move this knight and play F3, I think that's a bad idea. But if he tries to dislodge that knight, then I'm going to have two connected pawns here right in the center that are going to be a real bone in his throat. Again, I'm not certain that this is anything good for him. My a6 pawn is fine here. My rooks and pieces in the back are connected, so this is all okay with me. Alright, so how about some rook lift action? Rook f6 to h6. And maybe queen f6 to g6. That's a slow plan, but I think it's okay. Wait, no, we need to do the rook first, don't we? Sorry. One thing that does is takes me off of this diagonal, which is good, and now my bishop is hemmed in by this pawn just a little bit, but I can always push that pawn. And this might be a pretty good diagonal for it anyway. I don't think he has a real concrete way to proceed over here, so I don't mind him wasting all these moves. To me, he's wasting moves here. My a7 pawn is fine here. Any pushes here. And right now I can take with the queen. Shouldn't be too hard to pull back to c7 to protect that square also. So I do need to be a little careful of b6, but I think that's easy from here. That's what I think. We'll see if I'm right. Again, my center is pretty strong here, so I'm happy about building that up. I kind of wonder if my friend TJ is watching me here. Yep, he is. That's scary. Hi, TJ. But again, this looks strong for me. I think I'm in a good position here. Alright, again, I don't mind this too much. This would clear some way for my bishop. I'm wondering what it would do to take it first, although I don't think that's gonna be anything worth writing home about. Okay, I think here I play rook h6. I don't really like him playing bishop c1, but he's blocked that temporarily here. Takes, and then it's a little bit easier for him to get in. Okay, what? Alright, so we need to take stock of our position here and then figure out what in the world he's doing. I really think I just take that piece and he's going to win the pawn, but so what? Now, does he think I'm going to fall for a one mover here? I'm not sure. I do need to be careful to make sure I don't, but still. Why not just queen f6 here? And then I'm up a piece. It's because he can win that pawn as well. Is there a way to do both? Try to find a way to defend the mate on g7 along with the pawn on e4. I think this is the best way, but it's not going to defend the pawn. Though, if queen takes, then whatever that is. Bishop takes, queen takes bishop. So this seems fine, as far as I can tell. I have all kinds of bishops pointing at his king side still. Alright. So from here, I just take the queen, I think, right? My pawns are a little unhealthy, but fine. And I'm up a piece for 2 pawns, it looks like. Alright, so how does f5 look here? I need to slow down a little bit. I'm moving a little fast. He's got that diagonal there that's a little scary. I need to get off to this back row with my bishop. And his pawns are a little scarier now, so I need to watch that. Okay, so I just take this pawn, right? Pawn takes rook d8, king f7, and how does he proceed there? I think that's right. King d8, a rook d8, king f7, and there's no way to proceed. So, hope that's right. It looks it.
Check.
Now my bishop is pinned, and that kind of stinks. I might have ideas like, why would I not want to do that? Huh. Huh. I'm not sure what to do there. I think I might save the bishop by bringing it to b6. And he has check here, but no real way to proceed again. So let's calculate here. I've got time. Bishop b6, rook check, king e6, and I seem to be fine again. But if I go bishop takes a3, rook takes, might be harder to keep his rook from getting in here and causing problems, especially rook c whatever. In fact, bishop, oof, I don't like this rook to c1 thing. So I could be in some trouble there. But I think bishop b6 is right. Bishop b6, and I don't know how he follows up with king e6. Looks like he can chase me around some, but I'm not sure. Where should I be going? Let's look again. Excuse me. Bishop b6, king f8. Oh, whatever I said. I don't know what I said. Bishop b6, rook f8, king e6, rook e8. I mean, I can just move around some. Can I just come up to... I think it's the best move. Okay, let's go bishop e6. And I know I didn't calculate that all the way to the end, but it seems okay.
Check.
What about going g6? Rook, king g6. It's going to be either e6, where he can go to e8, d5, worry about some of my pieces being undefended. So for that reason, I'm thinking about going this way, but I'm worried if I can't get trapped by some of those pawns. So this is where I'm going. Right. So here, bishop d7, or I mean king d7 seems okay. King d7, rook f7, and I don't see how he makes any progress with that. Guess rook d1, but rook d1, rook d6. Oh, nope, 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 not rook d6. Shoot, close. I'm trying to figure out where I should try to work on getting my king, and there's no real safe
Check.
spots. Alright, again, I just come back to e6, right? Well, he gets in here, and then it gets a little tougher. Alright, so king d6 almost ends the checks, but rook d1. Oh, I can't go king d6, can I? So looks like it has to be here. Oof. Rook e7 kind of stinks. King d5 is available if rook e7.
Check.
King d5 seems okay. I'm wondering if I can't get up here.
Check.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to have to get up there now, aren't I? Although king d4 seems okay here. King d4, bishop b2, not quite okay. Alright, here we go. Not having a lot of fun right now. Would really help if I could get my rook and bishop into the game. But getting away from all these checks right now is a bit of a pain.
Check.
Get out of here, fly. Get out of here, fly. Good gravy. This seems to be getting better now. He's running out of checks, in other words. Problem is I don't have anywhere to put my bishop. Right, so here, I mean, really simple bishop d4 seems to be really good. In fact, I'm going to jump on bishop d4. Don't see how he can continue. The check on b1 merely loses the bishop. Moving the rook away loses the bishop. And he doesn't have any other checks, so I should win a piece here. Well, there's that, I guess. It could be that I can win that pawn on f2 here, but is there anything better? Is there anything better? I might spend some time looking here. I might spend some time here. To me, the most attractive thing is bishop f2. There's no rook d6 tricks or anything like that. Excuse me. So there's no bishop c5 tricks. So my mind is telling me I'm down a pawn. I'm not down a pawn just purely pawn-wise. I wouldn't be after that swap, but I really still need to rescue this bishop. So I'm still worried about, let's look at the line, bishop f2, king takes, and then something like rook d whatever here, and I can't really get there fast enough to defend c7 from his other rook. So how about, of all things, bishop b8 here? Bishop b8, rook takes. Oh, it's not check. That's my king. Bishop takes. King takes. This is tight, man. I got to get that rook out, and then I can worry about protecting that bishop somehow. So I'm gonna go. Okay, let's go bishop or rook b8, rook e8. Still don't like it, man. I'm not sure I can save that bishop. So let's do this. I'm running low on time.
Check.
I may just have to lose that bishop. And at that point, I do have a passed pawn here, and his pawns aren't as good. So I think I might be winning the ending here, but I'm not comfortable with it. So, I mean, really good move for him here is bishop e8, I think. Or rook e8. So that doesn't pin my rook. But it does, yeah, jeez, man. He can pin it there. But I can get my other rook out at least, so there's that. What about something like e3, throwing that pawn away to try to save things? Is that possible? So I'm looking at e3, king takes, rook e6, check, king moves, maybe here, And geez, I don't have a follow-up there either, do I? Alright, I think this is my best move. Problems here come when I have bishop d6 or rook d6. Like I said, I may lose that bishop, but I may be able to save it now with rook e8. I may still have f4, e3 things coming, so I don't know. It's going to be tight. Could also just toss that bishop with b8, rook b8, and get rid of this pawn, and then I've got some activity on the 7th, 2nd, whatever. You just get my rook to g6. That would basically unpin the bishop, though, wouldn't it? So rook d6 instead of rook e8. How about just rook g6? Okay. He's throwing... I don't know. I'm not sure what his best plan is here. Yeah, I think he might have lost the plot a little bit here. Rook c8, try to trade off a rook. It's protected by the bishop. Or should I just... Man, I really want to untangle these guys. Badly. Okay, rook c8. But I still got to be careful here. Let's... This is still sloppy, man. I'm thinking about... Man, rook c8. Rook c8, rook takes, bishop takes. Fine. Rook c8... Rook c8, rook b1, and then I can escape back here. I think rook c8. I gotta get pieces off the board now.
Check.
Eh.
Check.
Didn't see that. Okay, but it's okay still.
Check.
Yeah, it's still protected. I think I'm fine.
Check.
And I'm gonna lose... Dadgummit, I'm gonna lose a7. Or am I? Am I? Nope, that loses the rook. Ah! I'm scared. I'm scared. I think I'm okay, but it's scary. Really scary. Alright, here I seem okay. Is he going to want to play to there? Yeah, he is. So, how about this? These pawns are more than a strength.
Check.
More than being a strength, they are a pain. They really are. Ah, and that pawn is a big thorn in my side. What about bishop c7 here? Alright, can we liberate things a little bit here? With maybe rook b6. Seems pretty good. Alright, take that pawn, right? Okay, this should be winning now. This should be won. I think he can resign now. I think I'm out of the woods finally. Whew, that was a challenge, guys. What's best here? Let him take it. Now if he comes over here to rescue the A-pawn, the E-pawn queens. And now if he comes over to rescue the A-pawn, the H-pawn queens. Easy enough, right? Oh, he disconnected! Okay, well, that's alright. I'll adjudicate it. I think it's really, really, really obvious that I've won. So, I'll count that as a win in my stats and move on from there. Okay, guys, thanks for watching. I knew it was scary there in the middle, but I got out of it. So, I hope you enjoyed that one. Any comments are very much appreciated as